The brain is a complex organ. Like all organs, it can have complications. These complications can be known as mental illnesses or mental disorders. These disorders can be caused by several things. They can be caused by biological factors, meaning your genetic makeup or family history. They can also be caused by your environmental factors, meaning something you might have grown up around or witnessed or experienced. They can also be caused by a chemical imbalance in your brain. An example of these biological factors would be schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a genetic disorder, meaning you have to have the family history or genetic makeup to have schizophrenia. An example of the environmental factor would be PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder is caused when you experience something traumatic, hence the name, post-traumatic stress disorder. It means that you have witnessed something traumatic and your brain is in a constant fight or flight mode. You can actually see PTSD in brain scans because there is a overactivity in the brain. An example of the chemical imbalance would be bipolar disorder or depression or even some anxiety disorders. A chemical imbalance is when your brain either has too many or too few of a certain chemical. These chemicals are known as neurotransmitters. In our brains, there are things called neuron cells, and these cells are the things that send messages to the neurotransmitters that help us do everything in our lives. These messages are sent throughout our tissues and other cells and muscles. They are what help us put one foot in front of the other to walk. They help us conjugate sentences, and they even help us do just everything in our lives. These neuron cells send signals, send chemical and electrical signals, to be more specific, throughout our body to help us do everything. Neurogenesis is the creation of new neuron cells. And there are actually over 600 mental disorders or neurological disorders. They can range from schizophrenia to ADHD to sleep apnea to cerebral palsy to just about anything you can think of. When I say anxiety disorders or personality disorders or eating disorders or anything like that, these are known as umbrella terms because there's more to it. When I say personality disorder, there are several different types of personality disorders. There is avoidant personality disorder, obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. There is paranoid personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and more. These disorders can be broken down more based on the severity. For example, bipolar disorder can be broken down into bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. How people differentiate between these two disorders is the length and severity of the manic episodes. Schizophrenia can also be broken down further down into more of an umbrella term, because there is regular schizophrenic, there is catatonic schizophrenic, and there is paranoid schizophrenic, and there are several more. Our brains help us do everything, and these disorders can change things, but they do not have to have that big of an influence in our lives. I think the brain is very interesting because there are so many different types of disorders and different levels of severity and different causes and treatments. I think it is pretty cool that you could develop a disorder and cure it through therapy and treatment. And I think it is cool that our brains send signals and tell us to do everything, and that is why I chose this as my topic. Thank you.